Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. In this particular game, we are going to play the Beastmen against the Dwarves, so definitely got to hurry. It looks like he's already selected his army here, so we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that. Get rid of Trader Kin and that ability, and we should be good to go. We're also going to get 2 Gorbals, make sure they both have their potions and they're ready to party. Alright, feeling good so far. We're actually going to get a natural CYGOR, so we're going to get double CYGOR, and this is a relatively open field, so I think we should get the benefit of that there. So then, as far as our infantry corps goes, we're going to go kind of cheapo. We're going to go with Ungor herds here. Probably just get a few of those guys. Let's go ahead and get maybe 2 Bestigors here, which should be fine, and then we do want some mobility. The Centaurs with great weapons are a pretty good choice, so... yeah, that's not bad, but again, in investing so much in CYGORs, I feel I do need some of these kind of throwing axe variants here. So let's cut that guy, let's get that, and then let's see. So we have these guys, and these guys honestly are good enough, and you can charge around and do pretty good work with them. So we're just gonna put some chevrons in our cheapo infantry here, and hopefully that'll pay off. And it looks like we have 5 seconds left, so gotta hurry, guys, gotta hurry. So yeah, essentially I have this cheap fodder line, but I'm putting a ton of marbles in my CYGORs because this is a really pathetic infantry corps, especially against the Dwarves. You know, if they have like a Rune Lord and a Rune Smith and other units like that, it's going to be really, really tough to kind of go fisticuffs with those guys. So we will see how it goes. But I do have the Centaurs with throwing axes, so they're actually not bad. They do get punished really badly by like Quarrelers and Rangers and things like that, but you know, if he invests in Gyrocopters as his defensive unit, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble in my opinion, but we will see. There's not a lot of places to hide in this map. He could run off into the forest area here, like if he starts back here and then he starts taking CYGOR fire. He could like run off over here, but you know, again, we'll see how it goes. Also, if he invests in cannons, I think the mobility of my Centaurs and other units like that will put a ton of pressure on them. And of course, Gorbals, pretty OP unit. Well, I don't know if they're OP per se, but you know, as far as the Beastmen roster goes, they're one of the more viable units, and yeah, they're really hard to deal with. I mean, they hit like trucks, they can carry potions, they're fast, they can run through formations pretty easily, so I guess you could call that overpowered, but definitely a fan of the Gorbal. So yeah, this is a good map. There is some decent Vanguard options on this map, which is nice. If I'm not mistaken, you can actually Vanguard over here, but it looks like the battle's about to start, so let's get right to it. I know you guys have been demanding some Beastmen games, so I don't know how this janky army is going to go. I mean, this is such a sad infantry corps right here. So, you know, it's going to be funny because when the game starts, he's only going to see like, let's go ahead and put them like that, put these guys back here. And I didn't bring any Minotaurs. I felt like something was missing, but we'll put him here and him here and him here. All right, so far so good. We're going to lock those guys up. Now we got a decent little formation. So then these guys, I can kind of Vanguard over here. I wonder if I could get in those trees over there. Probably not. I'll just Vanguard them in the tree line over here. Although I probably want to keep them front and center just in case his like Gyrocopters come straight at me. I want to be able to deal with those. We'll put these guys in group 3, put them over here, and then the CYGOR can kind of just posture up right here where he's going to get a nice little angle on this whole valley. So my opponent's army's pretty big. So he's probably not bringing Gyrocopters, which is definitely going to be a little unfortunate considering how much I invested in these Centaurs with throwing axes. But, you know, hopefully he'll be nice and clumped up for my CYGOR, and I will be summoning a second one. And thankfully, this is huge to this build. I started off with 22 Winds of Magic, so within, you know, the first like minute of the game, I should be able to summon another CYGOR, which is really big. Because again, I don't have a great infantry corps, so I'm going to need to prolong that battle for as long as possible and try and generate some value with my Centaurs and my CYGORs before the main conflict starts. So we will see. I do have the Mantle of Garok, so what I do have in melee, this will probably be pretty nice to use on these guys when they're kind of pitched in, you know, battle versus some of the elite dwarven infantry, if he has any, who knows. And these guys, I'm just going to kind of run them around the back of my opponent's line and just try and keep him there and keep him dealing with those so he can't advance effectively. That's one of the big issues with the dwarves, and that's why I personally like the Gyrocopter build. I feel like it's pretty solid. So looks like he did set up back here. He has some cannons, or that's actually a grudge thrower. So we're gonna posture that up there. And let's see, maybe we actually just kind of head to the forest here, right? And just kind of avoid the focus fire. And this guy can go around here, so we'll pull him up and around. And all right, let's do it to it. We're moving, guys, and looks like there's a little bit of lag, which is unfortunate. Hopefully my opponent doesn't disconnect, but no, his grudge thrower is firing here, and he does have, what does he have? So he has Quarrelers, Longbeard, so pretty sturdy little army. He has High King Thorgrim, he has a Runesmith, he has all kinds of fun stuff going on, so the CYGOR needs to get in there and start stomping the yard and throwing some boulders. And the grudge throwers aren't great against like big, you know, CYGOR type units, so we're actually going to summon our second CYGOR right there, and hopefully I'll be able to just kind of bombard him while using this jungle for terrain. I always call them jungles, and you guys always point that out. I definitely got to get better about that. So this unit is flying around the flank here, so he's going to be pretty annoying, and they're really fast too. I wonder, so these guys have 116 run speed when they're buffed nearby. That's pretty crazy. So they're moving, they're getting there. So I am throwing the boulders in the opponent's army, and he's going to, you know, eventually start taking a lot of damage. And I'm probably going to target these Quarrelers in the center because, yeah, I can target them. And then if he underthrows here, he's going to hit these guys. And it looks like my opponent is marching into the forest to kind of mirror my movements here, which is pretty smart. you know, he's going to stay out of harm's way to say the least, so we'll just continue to advance over here. Let's see if we can actually catch some units like out of position here, and we're going to advance on these guys here and see if we can get a nice little dive there. So so far so good, guys. The boulders are coming in, they're making some okay contact, not the best, and it is unfortunate that he has this terrain to kind of protect him here, but you know, it is what it is, guys. We're going to do the best we can. So we're going to move through here, and I do have the cover of the tree line here, and these guys are in pretty good position here. I'm so tempted to just charge in on these guys, but it looks like he is paying attention here. So I'm just going to continue to bomb him. You know, there's not really any downside, and I'm going to get here, like line up in this forest tree line here, and kind of let's try and run around here and actually just start being annoying. So I am just about in range, so we want to pull those guys back, and he is taking some of that boulder fire. These longbeards do have charge, so if I could get like a little bit of a rear charge on this, okay, so this is good. If he starts to move his army, I can come in and collapse right here, so this is going to be pretty strong. So this, at the end of the day, might keep some of his troops out here. It looks like he is kind of retreating and probably has his attentions elsewhere, so I am going to get these grudge throwers right now, which is great. So let's go ahead and pull these guys back here and get in here with these guys, and I get a nice little charge there. So as soon as we get in, we just want to pull out because obviously he's going to react. These are such a fast unit, and you can see it's now kind of keeping his troops out here, and look at the damage that's going on right here. This is pretty brutal. So we're going to charge in here and charge in here like this, and then pull these guys in and just kind of like cycle charge and keep his attention, because now you can see I get a nice little charge there. And let's actually just pull straight out because my opponent is definitely paying good attention there. And in the meantime, we want to advance on the front line here and just kind of start going fisticuffs because his attentions are definitely in the back line. So we'll pull here, and let's get the Gorbals on these guys. And all right, so far so good, guys. So right now we're going to charge these grudge throwers again. We're just going to pull these guys back just a little bit. And he does chase me with the Slayers, which is pretty good. You know, I'm totally fine with the Slayers kind of doing their thing over there. So we're going to give a Mantle of Garrock to my elite infantry and get a nice little charge in those grudge throwers again. So bam, they take a ton of damage. It shuts them down. He's doing a really good job though, pressuring my Centaurs with throwing weapons over here. So very well played. We might be able to penetrate the pocket here. So we'll pull these guys over here and just have them start throwing. No, we don't want them in melee. We want them throwing their axes. So I get a nice little charge here on these Coilers here, doing pretty good. And my melee core is actually holding up quite well. So we want to go ahead and use that, and then use this as well. And we probably want to start marching these guys up here just to have them fighting, because now that this battle's kind of tight and intense, I think they're going to be a little better served in the main core here. So I'm actually going to get my Gorbals on his Lord. Definitely, he's a very squishy. Well, he's not squishy by any means, but he's a decent target there. So we're going to pull these guys back. We definitely don't want them sitting in there. They're taking a bit of a beating. There's actually a great target for them right here. So we're just going to start chucking at these Longbeards, kind of move over here and see if we can get a better position. So these guys are marching, coming up to fight, and you know, my main line's actually holding up pretty well. So we're going to use Devolve here, and hopefully we can get some good value. We're also going to use the Potion of Foolhardiness and the Potion of Toughness. Just continue to focus on that Lord, and I think we can make some ground. He is steady right now, so that's a good situation for me. And my opponent's doing a pretty good job here defending, but let's go ahead and see if we can just start throwing at those Coilers there. I did get a nice little charge on those guys here, which is pretty great. So let's actually go ahead and rear charge in here. Hopefully I can like bait these guys forward, and then, you know, I'll be in pretty good shape. So we're going to switch these guys to melee and just send them into the kind of the main throng of the battle. Make sure to use the Arcane Conduit, and let's check on our Gorbals and see how they're doing. So they did kill him, so that's really good. So unfortunately they are kind of enveloped by Slayers now. So what we're going to do is just pull them back and start using them on the squishy spots of my opponent's army. So I get a nice little rear charge there. Continuing to pressure, these throwing axes are getting in there, and the Gorbals are doing a great job. So let's just keep moving. And these guys, yeah, these guys are going to be really scary when they do get to the main battle. So let's see, I don't have enough for another Devolve, but we can go ahead and send him in. And the Gorbals, once they're able to like help clean up over here, I'll probably honestly send them after his Runesmith. So let's actually go ahead and run them out there. We don't want them sitting there for too long. So over here, oh man, excuse me guys, it's been a long day. So we're going to go ahead and charge those guys here. We're going to find his Runesmith, which is hidden somewhere in this battle. So actually the Thane's actually not a bad choice. So let's go ahead and pull in here, get the Gorbals coming in hard, and let's go ahead and get on those Thanes. So they're going to get in there and they're going to be pretty scary. They're really good at focusing down like heroic units. So over here on the outside, my mobile units are doing a great job, and I really like the kind of utility you can get out of these guys. Even though they don't have, you know, your fun armor piercing, they're pretty good. So we'll make sure to finish that guy off. And I should have a Devolve here in a second, but it looks like my opponent may be lagging a little bit, so this will give me a little bit of time to kind of survey the battlefield here. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and focus that Thane. He did use the Potion of Toughness here, and I do have these CYGORs here now, and they're going to crush these guys, so very happy about that. Do have some units coming back from route, so make sure to send them in to help out. It's kind of definitely one of the most important things with these guys when you're using low-tier infantry. And I did break those guys, which is pretty great. So we want to look, we definitely don't want to mess with those Slayers over there. So let's go ahead and just use these guys, and I don't need to worry about those Coilers, I don't think. So let's go ahead and posture up here. And the Gorbals, I'm actually going to switch them on to the Runesmith here. And because the Thane he's very sturdy, and he did pop that Potion of Toughness. So we're going to come in here, get a rear charge with all my Cap and mobile units, and we're also going to use a Mantle of Garrock here on this Gorbal, so to really just push it home and take out this Thane. So I think we should be able to be honest. So let's go ahead and use those buffs, and he should be down momentarily. So We're going to push in there, and I think our CYGORs are doing a pretty good job stomping the yard in here. Yeah, you can see these Dwarf Warriors are broken, and the leadership is definitely starting to tank a little bit with all these guys. But he does have Slayers in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does have some Slayers, so let's go ahead and move him across the formation. We don't want him sitting there dealing with that kind of unfun stuff. So this Runesmith is shaken. We're going to pull this guy out. I don't think we want to keep him in there and keep him fighting. He did use a Rune of Wrath and Rune, so very, very well played on my opponent's part there. And I don't have enough, Winds of Magic. Using that CYGOR in the beginning definitely limits your magic capabilities, but yeah, it looks like this Runesmith's almost down. We need to make sure that they stay on top of them. Sometimes when they do knock them away, it keeps them like, it kind of like de-aggroes them. It's a very strange mechanic, so we're going to get these Dwarf Warriors here, and we should be able to kind of just break his back line with this cycle charging here, so. And yeah, this Besticore Herd's still fighting. It's going hard in here, so very happy about that. He actually was able to rout off one of my CYGORs with the Slayers, so very, very well played on my opponent's part there. So the Gorbals are going to be the big, big problem for my opponent to finish off. So the Runesmith is shaken, so we're actually going to charge into the rear here and send one Gorbal just to finish him off. We don't need to invest everything, so we use this Arcane Conduit. Is my Lord just surrounded right now? I think he is, but thankfully it's just Dwarf Warriors. So let's see if we can get him out. And yeah, most of my infantry corps actually did get collapsed, relatively speaking, so very, very tough situation, but we get a nice little rear charge in there, but it looks like he might have been ready for it. So let's actually pull out of the forest here and just kind of regroup our forces out here. We'll get these guys over here and pull them up and over here to actually just finish off these Dwarf Warriors here. So we do need to get my Lord out. That's going to be very important because Beastmen are one of those factions that gets punished a little bit by leadership. So we'll line these guys up here, take them out of melee mode, see if we can throw some. No, do we even need to? I think he's getting out of there just fine. So let's regroup, get out of there. We just want to like force the dwarfs to move because I still do have some range capabilities with the two CYGORs who, aren't the happiest about the situation, but they're doing okay. So we'll pull out of the forest there. And yeah, I'm sorry guys, fighting in the forest is definitely hard to watch, I would think. So we're gonna come over here, just move all of our forces out and just kind of start to pick off the dwarves that are fleeing. Definitely something you want to take advantage of because if he is able to regroup his forces, it's definitely going to be harder. So we're going to throw this in here and hopefully my Lord can squeeze out of there. I don't know if he is going to be able to, so yeah, it looks like he's pretty deep in it, guys. So I think we're going to be okay, though. The CYGORs are just going to start throwing rocks in there, and I still have two Gorbals, so I don't know if my opponent's going to, be able to do much against that, and I still do have a fairly healthy army. They're all kind of regrouping and are in pretty good shape, so yeah, it looks like these guys are broken, so we'll just leave one group on them to chase them off. And my Lord is getting punished, and they're pretty good. So, honestly, I probably could have just sent my Gorbals in there, but I didn't want to send them in against, like, the Slayers and just have them fighting those guys. It's not a good situation. So we still have plenty of ammo on our throwing axes, though. So let's see here. Do we want to get some fire going in here? I think we probably can. Just put them in skirmish mode. And, we definitely want to get rid of these Quarrelers. Quarrelers are really, really kind of strong endgame, when these really atrocious battle, because they're so sturdy, and it's one of the few things he can use against my CYGORs, so I want to get rid of those ASAP. And you can see he's taking a ton of boulder fire here. He's trying to run, but, the CYGORs, even into the tree line, aren't going to do bad, and they should be able to, finish off a lot of units. So we're still throwing the rocks in there, making some good contact. You can see the Dwarfs are definitely starting to get broken down a little bit, so we're going to target that healthy group of Dwarf Warriors there that's really kind of congested. We get a nice little charge here, but Quarrelers are good melee combatants too. They have 28 weapon strength, so they're putting up a good fight, but hopefully these Centaurs can finish them off and break them, and it looks like they shattered them, which is definitely great. So we're actually going to get our infantry corps and start marching them over here to kind of re-engage with the Dwarfs, and I do shatter those guys. So let's go ahead and switch here and just put them in skirmish mode, which they're already in, so they should flee before they're taking any potential threat. So we'll continue throwing boulders, and I still have potions, yeah, so this is pretty tough. Most of my forces' leadership is pretty low, though. That's definitely something to be concerned about. But you can see the throwing axes there are doing pretty good. They do have armor piercing, and you can see the Dwarfs are taking a considerable amount of HP damage. So what I could do, yeah, probably just keep throwing boulders, to be honest. And I could start to march in here. So we're going to just follow him a little bit to keep that line of sight, because I don't want him to get a reprieve from that cannon fire. So we're going to move in here just a little bit, just kind of stalk. We'll take them off skirmish mode so they can stay close and just keep throwing in there. So far, so good, guys. So let's posture up our main force here and just kind of line up, because he's going to have to come out. I mean, you can't sit here and just take this double CYGOR fire. Even though they are firing into trees, they're still going to get through eventually. So let's go ahead and see what he has left. So he has some Dwarf Warriors, it looks like, and yeah, it looks like a little bit of lag here. So again, sometimes the lag isn't a bad thing. It lets you survey the battlefield and kind of see what's going on. So definitely not going to complain about it. So let's see if we're able to make any contact here. So, all right, the dwarves are hiding in the brush. Definitely very sneaky. They kind of have a little bit of camouflage here too. It's definitely hard to see, and yeah, you can see they're taking that fire there, and they're not happy about the situation. So let's continue to move here and get the Gorbals ready. And I could just move the CYGORs up into melee, which probably isn't a bad choice. So maybe we should do that at this point, just kind of move them in. And I think having them in melee is going to be pretty hard for my opponent to deal with. So we'll move one group here and one group here. It looks like my opponent is coming out to meet me, which is fine. I'm A-okay with that. And as long as these Gorbals are near my troops, I'm feeling pretty confident. So we do probably need to use that potion relatively soon. So we're going to get in here, and it doesn't look like they're braced right now, so hopefully I can get like a really mean charge in here and just then bore right through them just like that. So we do need to get my heroic unit on the Thane here, so we're just going to kind of path him through there. We're going to just keep fighting, and I think with the Gorbals and everyone taking into account here, it's going to be pretty hard. So I am tempted to do a rear charge here, but we're going to put them in skirmish mode and just kind of run them off here. Just have them, essentially just throw their axes at him. So it looks like the Thane is in okay shape. He's still alive here, so let's go ahead and focus him down with our Gorbals, and because you can see the CYGORs are coming in here, and they're going to be, do a great job just smashing the Dwarves, especially with the support of these fodder units. You can see that contact coming in there, and these guys are just great health. I still have all my buffs here, so this Thane is definitely in some trouble. So he does have some Slayers mixed in here, though. I think he might, I don't know, I think a lot of them might have gotten cut down through the attrition of the battle. So the Gorbals, though, he doesn't have a lot of like heavy duty, kind of heavy hitting units, so it's going to be hard. And this group of Longbeards over here is never going to catch those guys. So all right, I think that might be it. Looks like the Dwarves are mass routing. Let's see what we have. It looks like I think 19 Slayers left. So that's all she wrote for our Dwarvish friend there. So I know you guys have been asking for Beastmen game, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I had a lot of fun, and my apologies for the tree line. I know you can hide foliage, and I feel like even when you hide foliage, you still really can't see much into the trees. It doesn't like completely hide them. But, again, maybe I'll try that for future games and see if it's better for you guys. So thanks again for watching this Beastmen cast, guys. I hope you all have an excellent night, excellent Thanksgiving if you're here in the States or wherever you are. And thanks for watching, guys. Have an excellent night, and take care.